Checkmates is recorded in front of a live engineer, Lou Keller, putting the mic check in Checkmates.
Good evening and welcome to Checkmates, the show where we take nerdism, geekism, throw it onto a chessboard and make tough decisions about who belongs where. My name's Nick Welsh.
I'm Daniel Garrichter.
And today we're looking at one of HBO's less proud achievements, Oz.
It's a deep cut, folks.
It's going to be rough. Now today's a little different. We heard a lot of you on the comment boards talking about how everything was pre-prepared. Well, today we're going to split this up randomly. We've taken 6 groups, and we're going to put them through a randomizer, and each side is going to have to pick from a pool of 3 gangs. We've got the Muslims, we've got the El Norte, we've got the Italians, the Aryans, the gangsters, and then a group of miscellaneous, which contains some pretty strong characters.
Like, arguably the strongest characters in the show. This is going to be tough. We've figured out that there are definitely 32 characters to choose from in this show.
I certainly hope so. I'd hate to get to 28 and have to apologize.
But it is pretty rigid in that sense. So let's get to it. It's going to be fun.
Well, you know what I always find funny though about Oz is it's for a company that produced such incredibly intelligent TV, it is so much like the stereotypical idea of Spanish daytime TV dramas.
At times, like, you were the one who told me that, and you pointed that out, and there are times in the show where it is straight up embarrassing. Like, it was one of HBO's first prestige shows, along with Sex and the City and along with The Sopranos, which we've covered. It has a lot of prestige moments. It has a lot of really, really exciting or terrifying or sad moments, but it's got a lot of pap as well.
It certainly does. My favorite way to watch it is to somehow move the video and audio slightly out of sync so it looks like it's badly dubbed. I feel like that's how the creators wanted the show to be. Okay, hit that randomizer, Daniel.
All right, so the top 3 that we're working with for the king on the first backline is Aryans, Muslims, and Italians.
Aryans, Muslims, and Italians. So we've got to pick the king and the queen from that group, right?
King and a queen, yeah.
King and a queen from that group. Oh, I mean, there's a lot of big names to pick from. You got Saïd, we're talking Nino Schiabetta.
And neither of us wants to have to do this, but the villain of the series, literally from episode 1 until the final episode, Vern Schillinger. I hate his guts. Boy, what an actor. J.K. Simmons.
Oh my goodness. Shit. A man who despised the role, apparently.
He did. He said he got death threats constantly throughout the series.
Oh, and we can romanticize that from an outside point of view, but for him, it wasn't very nice.
He was a really convincing Nazi.
It's like when wrestlers tell stories about people trying to stab them in car parks.
Yeah.
Okay, so, Schillinger. King.
Yeah? That's your choice?
Yeah, it's going to have to be in terms of his positioning in this show in general. I mean, he is a constant. He is part of one of the biggest ongoing storylines throughout.
I agree.
Okay, so now we've got to come up with our queen. And for me, I don't know about you, but for me, I think it's going to fall somewhere between Saïd and Nino Schiabetta.
It's interesting because he definitely has relationships with both to some degree, but he definitely has a relationship and eventual come to blows with Saïd, right?
This is true. It'd be good. They could be the 2 conflicting backline. I mean, hell, no marriage is happy.
No, and also the idea that the queen can essentially go anywhere and do anything.
It's true. He does have a little free reign. He can walk in and out of offices.
That's right.
Make demands.
He's the guy with the gun at the beginning of the riot, and he's the guy who actually brings Schillinger and Beecher together later in the series.
Okay, so we've got it. Saïd and Schillinger for the king and the queen. We have to go to the bishops.
We do. So let's randomize again. All right, so we've got miscellaneous, Latinos, and gangsters for our bishops.
Miscellaneous, gangsters, and Latinos. Oh, okay, so we're looking at bishops here.
Sort of spiritual leaders, as it were.
Or at least people who are slightly crazy. I mean, for me, I'm thinking here, and I'm wondering, The trouble is, there are certain big characters that you're worried about gambling not turning up in the back line. But for me, in terms of like thought-provoking characters, I'd say Alvarez.
Oh yeah.
And I'd say Beecher.
So that's great. For miscellaneous, I'd agree with Beecher. I don't think he's a king. Alvarez strikes me as a knight, but I like that too. For a gangster,
but there's so much really cheesy depth to his character.
Alvarez,
yeah.
I know.
At times, it's downright ugh. When he starts doing the blood, sweat, piss, bodily fluids, like ugh. I don't know what. Actually, they should both be there because I don't know which one of them does a worse crazy. Because Beecher's crazy when he first comes out the hole is comedy. Run to the spade, boy, run. Like, just, seriously.
When he's crazy, it is a lot to deal with.
Okay, so, I mean, unless you want to throw out another idea, we're looking at Alvarez and Beecher. There's got to be something in there.
I mean, I would say Guerra, but... Or, sorry, not Guerra. No, I wouldn't say Guerra. He's also a knight. I would say Morales, but Morales strikes me as more of a king or a queen. In terms of gangsters, though, because we haven't covered that.
I just realised something.
What's that?
Gangsters don't seem to be making it onto this list, but bishops, maybe. Poet.
Oh my god, I love that.
Poet Beecher?
Yeah.
Okay, Poet Beecher, our bishops are done. Okay, time to get onto those knights.
Yep.
Randomize.
Okay, so our top three. Latinos, miscellaneous, and gangsters. We got a million choices here.
Oh, I feel like we're gonna end up taking two knights from the gangsters by the thinking of it. So, okay, no, what do we could do here? Okay, let's think about it. Mondo Brown, Omar White.
Absolutely.
White over Mondo Brown. I almost feel bad about saying Mondo Brown first.
I mean, Mondo Brown is an important character in a very short arc, right? So like, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't end up being in it at all. Omar White, if the knight is kind of the guy who monopolizes violence on behalf of the king and the queen, then Omar White does a lot of that.
Omar White is quite possibly one of the most terrifying in quite a large, terrifying pool of people in this show.
You really want to like him, but he will stomp your face in.
Oh, awfuls. Okay, so we're definite on
Omar
White. Who's your? I mean, do you go Guerra?
For a Latino?
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. He has failed almost every attempt to kill someone in the show. I mean, he just constantly.
He's really intimidating, and he's a real asshole.
Lets Ricardo Rodriguez die. Like, he's not great. Okay, so maybe not. But what about as a knight? I mean, if you're talking about sheer stopping power here, Keller.
You like Keller?
He is... I can't know where else you'd put him except as a knight.
No, he kills so many people. He kills so many people, and it turns out, he's a serial killer.
Where do we really need to further the discussion past that?
No, let's move on.
Keller is our second knight.
Just like that, we've got our bishops, our knights, our king, and our queen. Let's talk about rooks, because... Yeah, this one was tough. With Sopranos, with The Simpsons, it made sense. It was a small debate. There's tons of iconography for both.
Well, whereas Oz has absolutely zero iconography. I mean, it is a dull, grey offset. Like, what am I going to do? Put an entire cafeteria on the board? I can't do it. I could put the under stairwell where everyone does drugs on the board? I can't do it.
When we talked about this before we started recording, I was like, I don't know, like the uniforms. But the whole point of M-City is that they don't wear uniforms.
I think if we're talking about shape like we have done in the past, I think the obvious choice here is on one side we use the cage that's in the middle of the room that they have people on show like a zoo for some sort of humiliation purpose.
Yeah.
And on the other side we have two of the proper contained cells with the plexiglass around, double bunk rooms.
Show's about jail.
Yeah. All right. So we've got the one thing that matters in the show, jail.
Okay.
Well, now we approach that porn set, which is always a minefield.
Yep. So we're going to randomize again.
For the first four.
Yeah, that's perfect. Okay, so the four that we have for this: Muslims, who we haven't really covered, Nazis, Italians, and miscellaneous.
Okay, okay, you know what I want to see on a porn from the Muslim side? I'd love to see Hamid Khan.
We talked about him, and like he's super short-lived in that show, but man, what a force!
An absolute warrior. And you know what? I feel bad every time we start talking about an area. I mean, Robson's got to get in there on the pawns, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of unavoidable.
What a tragedy that character is. Okay, so we've got Khan and we've got Robson. In terms of Italians, we could go with Urbano.
Urbano, I like it, and I feel bad about putting him so low, and I'm worried about holding up for the next board piece. But Chucky Pancamo.
Yeah, he's not a king exactly.
But he should definitely be higher than a pawn. Urbano, I'm fine with being a pawn.
He's important. He's there for most of the series, and like his flashback is amazing.
He shoots the guy off the ladder?
Off a smokestack.
Oh, okay.
Where was he gonna go?
Well,
anyway.
we've grabbed one from each there.
And then we have the miscellaneous.
Oh, yeah, okay.
We could do Cyril O'Reilly.
We could do Cyril, or we do Cyril Ryan double piece, but is Ryan too...
Oh, no. Yeah, we've talked about this.
Ryan, as awful as that character is, as ridiculous as that character is, a man that walks up to hardened criminals and is like, says things like, "Hey, that guy over there, man, he said some bad stuff about you. You should kill him right now."
And they do.
They do. All of them. Pancamo does it. Goes off and kills Peter Schiabetta. Stanislawski. No. Who's the guy who runs off to Stanislawski? He goes, "Oh, you should go get your phone back."
Oh man. Gergen?
Oh, something like that. Just
like a business guy who's like, just like really crooked on his job.
Like I think the most ridiculous thing in that ridiculous show is that tiny little in a crew that seems to consist of 3 people.
Yeah, and so for that reason, O'Reilly can either be a bishop or a knight. Yeah,
he can't be in the pawns. You know,
no,
he can't be in the pawns.
Okay. So one thing that I thought was a really cool thing is that we can really do a pair here, like we've done in other ones.
We are distinctly lacking in pairs here, sir.
We are, and I would love to do either Busmalis or Rebadow't, but they are a team. They are a duo throughout the entire series. They are hardened Guildenstern and Rosencrantz.
I absolutely adore that plan. Rebadow't, Busmalis together, absolutely perfect.
Yeah,
absolutely perfect. I want a thingy to have the pick in his hand that he uses to kill El Cid with.
And can we have like mining gear for Busmalis?
Yeah, he can have the shovel. Shovel and a shiv.
My baby.
Oh, the shovel and a shiv combination.
I love it.
Absolutely superb. Okay, so we've got our first 4 of our pawns: a Khan, a Urbano, Robson, and the classic double pairing of Busmalis and Rebadow't.
Vicious.
Hit that randomizer, Daniel.
Okay, so the next 4: Muslims, gangsters, miscellaneous, and Italians.
Okay. Okay, so are we going to put Bricks as lowly as a pawn? I really don't think he deserves to be anything more than that, to be honest.
He is a pawn. He's used by everyone, and no one wants to call him Bricks.
What's his kill rate in it? That old man?
His wife.
His wife and his friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true.
And
all right.
He abuses
and the kid that he shoots to get into prison in the first place.
Right, over a jacket.
Yeah, I'm unimpressed by his kill streak.
And he bullies that poor French art vandal.
I mean, poor French art vandal, mass killer.
In the end, yeah.
I'm not being funny, but I've been picked on. I've had my head kicked in from time to time, and at no point did I ever retaliate by shooting a bunch of people.
No, but...
Let's not sugarcoat this man's situation.
No, but you never were handed a gun by Adebisi. Like, you have to use it.
I've never been in that situation.
No, it's true.
And to be honest, out of 2 of his guns, it's the one I'd rather be handed.
So we're doing Bricks for Kenny Wangler for the gangsters.
Oh, definitely.
Okay, so we got to do a Muslim. So, I don't know about you, but I definitely think that Arif has to be on this board.
Oh, he's too important to not be on the board. I don't know if he's a big enough name to hit that back line. This might be the perfect place to put him in.
Yeah.
This might be the perfect, but I think without question, I'm okay with that. Arif is in.
Arif is in. Okay, so now we've got a gangster, we've got a Muslim, now a miscellaneous. We've done Keller, we've done Busmalis.
You know who could go in there?
Who's that?
What about Jin Kamin?
awesome.
Because there's enough of him there. If there's ever an example of why that show is bad daytime TV Spanish, it is him. I'm going to be there in the front row, laughing my balls off.
Oh, man. He's, like, all of his lines are terrible. And also, there's no indication that he's, like, good at kung fu. But suddenly he, like, goes ballistic and, like, kung fu takes out all the hacks.
Yeah, at certain points when he talks, he sounds like a drunk guy hitting on a woman he has no chance with. You should have seen me. I didn't even choke back a tear. I was brilliant.
Oh, man.
Yeah, okay. All right, he's in there.
All right, so we got one more. We got an Italian.
Come in. An Italian. Okay, so if we're talking pawns here, because there are a lot of big names still left for the Italians, if my mind serves me correctly. But if you need a pawn, I mean, Dino Ortolani.
Absolutely.
Dino Ortolani. Angry young man.
Sets off a million different storylines, too.
This is true. I mean, it's the whole introductory bell to having that awful Ryan turn up inside the show.
Yeah.
You know, that's the whole backing, is that he shot him in the chest in the thing. Johnny Post, who I don't even think could make it to a pawn status on this board, definitely burns him alive.
I'm not going to repeat any of his lines, but they're hilarious.
Briefly, we had discussed the horrors of the show Oz, and I decided that the worst death is the one that you don't see, because they definitely take off his genitals and his fingers before they kill him.
And they indicate that, but...
They indicate it and send it in a box.
They sure do.
Ah!
That's side one.
That is side one done. It's been a successful side one.
We introduced a new gimmick to picking all the different pieces, and somehow we made it through real fast. So
I am deeply concerned that we may find on the second run-through we have taken some big names from the pool.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough. They're going to have to stack up against the team we've already got here.
I believe in us.
All right. We'll catch you on the next side.
And we're back. We're now choosing another side of the chessboard. The first side was really, really interesting. Some very hearty debate. We're going to do the same randomizing. For this time, we're going to choose that back line.
Now, I want to point out something here, because we have quite an extensive team of scientists/analysts that work in the production room.
Data scientists.
And they've sent me down a little memo, and I apologize here. It seems that we did not get a single Latino on the other side of that board.
I don't know how that's possible, though they have some really, really important
I know there were some considerations, but I definitely... They're talking in my ear. They want more Latinos.
Okay.
Active effort.
They want what they want. The heart wants what the heart wants. Let's go.
Okay, so let's randomize.
Okay, so our top three is Latinos, Italians, and gangsters.
Oh,
let's do this thing.
Oh, you know what's rough? I already had in my mind a king and a queen, like, if it came up, and I'm really sorry it don't include the Latinos.
Nope.
But all right,
I'm sure a knight and a bishop can be worked out to include Latinos.
I am sure. Now help me out here, just making sure we're on the same page. Give me one of your king or queen.
Adebisi as king.
Of course, of course, no question.
My hot take about Oz is that it should have ended after season 4.
I don't know how hot that take is.
Oh.
I think if you said it in a room full of people that had watched Oz, they sort of go,
because like
they make that noise.
It didn't get better after season 4. So yes, that's my king.
See, now I'm curious, because it's so different to how you would normally do this show. So, who is your queen then?
He's not super. He doesn't stick around for that long, but in terms of him having a relationship with Adebisi, in terms of his importance to the overall show, I like Nino Schiabetta.
Nino Schiabetta was exactly my thinking as well.
Yeah.
Like, granted, maybe he doesn't stay in the show as long as other characters, but he represents the true power of the Italian mob behind bars, while it still has power.
His death is epic. The way they do it is horrifying.
Ugh. And don't get me wrong, it was a struggle for me because that queen, I was going between Nino and Peter, and I just couldn't decide which one to say.
It's a good one, man.
Peter Schiabetta.
I see what you did there with that joke about Peter Schiabetta.
Oh, what a joke.
And that's the thing. After Nino dies, there's no one else whose leadership brings them to the heights. Not even Napa.
No, not even close. Not even close. Okay, so that's that king and queen done.
Let's get some bishops.
It's time to get some bishops, sir.
Please have Latinos. All right, we're gonna choose our bishops. So here we go. We're gonna randomize again.
Randomize.
We've got Nazis, gangsters, and Latinos.
Gangsters? Gangsters, Aryans, and Latinos. I mean, straight off the back, I'm thinking about the Aryan people, and I'm not thinking of a bishop anywhere near there. Without Schillinger, who could have possibly been the only one, I don't see another character with that depth of intelligence shown.
Robson's off the list.
Even he wouldn't quite fit in. So,
Absolutely not.
So it's not going to be from the Aryans. Okay, I've got one for you. What if we had Supreme Allah as one of the bishops?
As a bishop?
As a bishop?
That is a hot take.
That is controversial.
Wow, okay. I kind of like, I like Morales as a bishop.
He's far more methodical than a lot of previous, like El Cid, insane.
Absolutely insane. I love him. What an awesome character.
Oh.
But no, Morales he's long-lived. He makes the Latinos one of the strongest factions in the prison for a while there.
Mm-hmm.
And he's like a spiritual leader compared to the rest of the Latinos who are all pith and vinegar.
I just think, he holds on to a little more common sense than the rest of them do. So, are we going Supreme Allah, or, you know what? Supreme Allah, I don't think has the same characteristics to fill that bishop role.
No.
As Burr Redding.
Burr Redding, my man.
I could almost see your eyes twitching at me for the past 30 seconds like it was in there, desperate to get out.
He's such a good character, man.
He just... But also Spanish daytime TV, I sentence you to death.
Oh. But
get him out of here.
But non-Spanish daytime TV is the scene where he sends all his soldiers to take out all of... So you take out Supreme Allah.
Oh, jeez. All right, so we're going Redding, we're going Morales. Let's randomize because them knights are a-calling.
All right. Our top three, we have Italians, we have Latinos, and we have Aryans.
Okay. Oh, this might actually be a little bit tough now that I come to think about it. Well, I'll tell you straight away, because from the Latinos, you could easily have Alvarez, El Cid, or even someone like Guerra. Like, easily.
Alvarez, for the scene where he blinds that hack alone, that is one of the most violent scenes, one of the most horrifying scenes in the whole show.
That is, yes.
It makes it so you don't care whether he has a redemption arc for the rest of the series.
We're supposed to like this guy.
We are.
He's definitely the closest we have to very few good guys in that show.
The thing with the dog and the thing with Cutler's wife. Okay,
so we've got Alvarez is in there.
As
now,
a knight.
I'm thinking Aryans, and there's a lot of tough ones in there. But to be honest, like Wolfgang, I don't know if he's more than a poor mock Mac, But you know who I do think would make a good knight?
Who's that?
And I don't know if you can even argue with me on this one. Pancamo.
Yeah, I've been waiting for this.
Yeah, okay, granted, at one stage he held that king spot inside the Italians for quite a while. But he's not. He is just a wall of death.
He's a trash leader, but man, like his nickname is literally the Enforcer.
Oh, he is and his backstory video is horrific.
Kills his wife.
Oh, opens it up to give her a kiss first? Absolute fiend.
In a dry cleaning bag.
Oh, it's a lot.
Chucks her into the water.
It is a lot. Okay, so I'm liking that. Alvarez on one side, I'm liking seeing Pancam on the other. I'd be terrified to be in the middle of them.
Me too.
Now, we already discussed the rooks in the previous one.
Yeah, so we can just move on.
I don't think we need to waste too much time on that unless we want to discuss whether or not the bed's going to have... Okay, side note though, one of the rooks, I want the bed to have the sheet slightly exposed and a handgun there.
Oh, because that happens twice.
Yeah, twice. We can have one on the other side for Adebisi's cell, and one on the side for the French kid.
Love it.
Neither me or Daniel bothered to learn the name of the French kid.
Like Jacques?
Yeah, let's just go with Jacques Rene Dupree. That sounds about what we're working with
Wrestling, I love it.
Okay, then moving hastily along, we find ourselves now at that troublesome pit of pawns.
I think we're good. I think we've got some interesting ones to choose from.
I'm struggling to remember some of the names here. I'm trying to look back over what we've picked, but pulling this out of thin air is proving tough.
Top 4. Latinos.
Okay.
Miscellaneous.
Okay.
Muslims.
Okay.
Italians.
Okay.
I think we've got lots to choose from.
So I'll say, okay, let's go Latinos first here, because if I had to pick between El Cid and Guerra, I'm going Guerra.
Yeah, he's a pawn.
I'm going Guerra, not even because he's a pawn, just because he's a fundamentally fascinating little character who has absolutely no idea what he... Oh, that eye, though.
The twitchy eye?
The twitchy eye when he sticks Alvarez and just glares up at him through it. Oh, it's like Sauron peering out from a 4-foot Hispanic fella. Okay, so we'll take Guerra. Now, you said gangsters, correct?
We said Latinos, miscellaneous, Muslims, and Italians.
Oh, okay, Muslims and Italians. So for Muslims, I'm thinking... Well, here's the thing. In my mind, there's only 2 characters large enough to fill that spot that are still left there. There's Salahuddin, formerly Tid.
Yeah, he's important.
Or there's my favourite quotable name of the whole show, Hussein Mashah.
I barely remember him.
Whose name is actually Hosanna Mensch, I believe, but the pronunciation of Kareem is far better.
We can, we're pretty much done with the Aryans. We can be done with the Muslims as well.
Oh, I don't know, dude. I'm thinking the next pawn set. I can think of 1 or 2 Aryans that might make the list. Here's the trouble. I'm thinking about the Italians. Antonio Anapa is not a pawn.
No, but we're done with the back line. So.
No. So we're going to have to put Supreme Allah in there.
Yeah, okay.
Supreme Allah is going to have to make the list.
In terms of the violent deaths in the show, he gets shanked by an egg.
Okay, so we've got Supreme Allah. We've got Gira. For miscellaneous, just because I don't think he's going to make it on the board otherwise...
Augustus.
Augustus?
I'm sad that he wasn't, like, a bishop or whatever, but that's how the rules of this game go.
To be honest, I worry that thinking about it, that pawn of miscellaneous people expands quite far.
It really
But you
does.
know what? He's got to be on that board. In you go, Augustus.
All right.
And we find ourselves with the last pick of the first half of these pawn pieces.
We've got more Latinos, don't we?
We do, but I'm thinking maybe we could pull something else from the miscellaneous.
Yeah, I agree.
Because to be honest, like I'm trying to think past El Cid here. I'm thinking Jamie Velez, but for miscellaneous, I'm pulling straight to mind. I mean, we could do Hoyt. We could get Ryan O'Reilly on that board, and he needs to be.
Hoyt is a really important character.
It's true, but you know what? I think in terms of if we run into danger of not having a chance to put him on the board again, I think it's got to be double piece Ryan and his brother.
Yes, Cyril O'Reilly.
Okay.
I can't believe we didn't...
They had to make the board. They made it as a double. Cyril and Ryan O'Reilly is the last of our first half of the pawns.
Okay, let's randomize one more time.
Randomize.
Home stretch. Home stretch.
Oh, this thinking for ourselves is exhausting.
It is.
Next time I'm coming in not just with notes, but with an earpiece that tells me what to say.
Okay, so this might work out in our favor.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we've got gangsters.
Okay.
Italians.
Okay.
Aryans.
Mm-hmm.
And miscellaneous.
I actually feel pretty good about that.
Yeah, me too.
I'm trying to think of gangsters, but to be honest, like I don't want to put in Nordstrom, because he's an undercover, same as Mobay. I don't think he needs to be in there. I don't think Junior needs to be in there.
Pierce,
yeah. I don't see it. I don't think... I can't think of anyone noteworthy left in there that really tickles my fancy.
Okay, so we're done with gangsters.
Yeah, Italians. If I could bother to remember of the name of the guy that's constantly the lower level soldier throughout every season, who looks far too lanky and geekish to be any part of it. So I haven't got anyone left in Italians because I can't put Antonio Napper as a pawn.
Nope, but with Nazis, we can definitely go with Wolfgang Cutler.
Wolfgang Cutler makes that pawn piece easy on his motorcycle, perhaps maybe half a centimetre away from a head sticking out of the ground.
That is brutal.
Oh, absolutely horrific. All right.
So we've got 2 from the last 4.
Okay, that's 1. We've only got
That's
Wolfgang.
only 1, so the last 3 are going to have to be miscellaneous.
Dude, I think I can handle that situation because I'm going to say what we just said. Hoyt's going in there.
Hoyt is the one to go with. Really key biker. The acting is not. It leaves a bit to be desired, but
Key biker, but definitely fringes religious eccentrics and the Nazis.
tormented by Luke Perry.
He is just a bridge onto possibly one of the worst moments in the show as well. That goddamn awful singing. If you're gonna have free will. Oh, it's and the trouble is, it's not bad enough to be a joke, and it's not good enough that it should be anywhere near the show.
Who would have thought that the singer of Biohazard wouldn't have really had that much elasticity in his abilities?
You know what? Here's what I'm thinking, dude. Do we lead straight on from Hoyt to another very easily bridgeable gap? I think you know what I'm thinking.
Mr. Timmy Kirk.
Timmy Kirk. Almost definitely has to be on the board. What a crazy character.
Another embarrassing scene from that series is when Hoyt kills him.
Oh, Jesus! While looking at Jesus with every bit of iconography around it, yeah.
He looks up at the sky and goes, ah, like he's kind of orgasming, but also definitely having a religious miasma. So,
and plus he does insinuate that he's the devil, to which it's the only point I've ever liked Ryan in the show, where he gives Keller a look like, this guy is a dick.
he is a dick.
Okay, so we've got Timmy Kirk, Hoyt, and we've got Wolfgang Cutler. We've got one more space left. And I don't know, dude, it's funny because I gave you a look and you gave me the look back. Let's throw a curveball out there.
Oh, this is the curviest of the curveballs.
Because we need to get a woman on this board. And no, it is not Howell.
As awful as she is,
As awful as she is,
there is one worse.
we're going with Shirley.
Shirley Bellinger.
Shirley Bellinger.
She's introduced in like the 2nd season. Her crime is made clear. She's open about why she did it and how she did it. And she is just the goddamn worst.
Oh, and also someone who, no matter in what situation, I mean, we're in a prison. I've watched a lot of prison porn, you know? And even at that, I do not become aroused when she's like, I'll show you my vagina if you show me your penis.
Oh.
It is, don't do no. Oh,
Show me your prick.
No, wait, what's the line? Ate her like compound chicken.
My God.
And on that bombshell, people, we find ourselves at the end of another Checkmate's chessboard.
We have the bleakest chess set ever created in Oz.
This is the one chess set that if we were going to make it, I'd insist on it being plastic just so it was as tacky as the show was.
I love it.
Well, welcome. That's the end of our first, and I certainly hope last, on the spur decision making, because it tested my mental acuity to its very limits.
Yeah, I'm not super thrilled with the choices, but the method was awesome.
My concern is I'm going to wake up tomorrow like a hangover, look at the girl in bed next to me and go, why did I pick that one?
Dog's breakfast.
Well,
but with Oz.
You know what, people? It's been fun. And as we'd like to say at the end of all of our shows, except this is the second time and I'm just going to pinch it from you, we'll check you later.
That's right. Good night.